The Oregon Medical Marijuana Program has created 2 ways for patients to submit an application. You may continue using the paper process and mailing everything, or you can now apply online. In this training, I will be taking you through every step to apply online. I will highlight important features and guide you to successfully applying online. This training is for a patient who has had a medical marijuana card before and is applying for a renewal. If you have not had a card at any time in the past, please exit this video and select the video for a new application. That process will show you how to create a new application with that information. During this training, you will learn how to submit an Oregon Medical Marijuana Card application electronically versus the established mail system. Before we get started, it is important to know that in order to apply online, you need to be able to scan and upload all required documents and pay online with a debit or credit card. If you do not have a scanner available to use, most public libraries offer scanning free of charge, or if you have a cell phone with the ability to take pictures, you can submit a picture of the required document. You will want to have the documents scanned or pictures from your phone either in your email or on your computer before you begin. The documents that need to be scanned and available for upload are government identification for the patient, caregiver if you designate one, and grower. This information needs to be current as of the date of submission. Expired identification will not be accepted as valid. You will also need your grow site proof of zoning for the designated grow site address, if you are within city limits. Attending physician statement, signed and dated within 90 days, proof of residency if not providing an Oregon driver's license or identification card, proof of reduced fee if applicable, and for minors, a declaration of person responsible for a minor form signed by the minor's custodial parent or legal guardian. Also, if you have a veteran with proof of a service-connected disability, you will have to have that document ready to be included as well. This system is another way to apply and is not mandatory. You are still able to submit your application through the mail, but the online application should reduce processing time, and it will make your 30-day receipt, which we call your temporary receipt, available to you as soon as the application is complete and proper payment has been submitted and processed. By process, we mean that the payment has gone through your credit or debit card, which can take up to 48 hours once you have paid online. There are 2 ways you can scan your documents. One way is to make them all one document. To do this, you will scan all of your documents together. For example, I have a caregiver, live in city limits, and receive SNAP. I would like to provide my current government ID, such as my Oregon driver's license, my caregiver's government ID, which is their driver's license, my proof of zoning, and proof of my SNAP benefits. I would make a copy of all of these documents, scan them into one document, save them with my name and application document, and then I would be ready to go. The other option would be to scan each of the required documents separately with my name and the name of the document, such as patient name.government identification, patient name.caregiver identification, patient name.proof of zoning, patient name.snap. I will explain more in detail how each of these are completed when I get to the documentation part of the training. Now that I have all of my documents saved and ready to attach, I am ready to proceed. On this slide is the website that you will need to sign into to begin your application. From here, I am going to select Create an Account because I have never had an online account with the medical marijuana program before. If you have an existing account for either a grower or processor account, you will select Sign In and use your existing login information to enter the system. The system allows you to have one login to access your patient, grower, or processor information. If you are or have been a grower with an online account for reporting, you will select Sign In at this point. If you do that, please wait for a minute as we catch up with you, as I am going to show everyone how to create an online account. Before I begin creating my account, I would like to draw your attention to the small blue circles with the I in them. The I stands for information, and if you select one, an additional informational screen will pop up. These additional information icons will appear frequently throughout the process and will give further details and definitions. Now, to create my account, I will fill out each line and I will create a password that includes all of the required characters to be complete. For example, capital P ASSWORD 1234 exclamation point would fulfill the length, uppercase, lowercase, number, and special character requirements. Please enter the password again in Confirm Password and hit Register. Now that I have entered all of my registration information, I see this screen notifying me that there is a confirmation email in the inbox of the email account I used to register. I will need to go into the email account that I used and click the link provided, which will complete my account creation and enable me to move forward to the patient application process. Once you select the email confirmation link that was sent to your email, you will be directed to an email confirmed page. You are able to select the blue sign-in link to go directly to the sign-in page at this time, or you can return to the website at a later time and select Sign In from there. Now that my account has been created and I have received the email, I am directed to the home screen again where I now sign in. I will not need to create another account. In the future, if I become a grower or processor, I would use the same login information to access those accounts. If you log out at any point during this process and return to the website later, you will select Sign In. This will be the case if you are in the middle of an application or if you received your email confirm notification and chose to start your application at a later time. I would like to draw your attention to the Help icon at the top right of the screen. When you have questions, you can use this Help option to reset your password, provide troubleshooting tips to connect to your account, find links to our videos, and to our website. I will now enter the email and password I created to log on. Now that I have signed in, I am at the page where I can choose to connect to whatever role I need to connect to. For this training, of course, I will be registering as a patient. Now I need to select which type of account I am establishing. The first option is to connect to patient information. This is the option I will select if I have previously had a card at any time or currently have a card that is within 90 days of expiring. In both cases, I will select this option and connect to the most recent card number and data that I have had. If I am a new patient, meaning I have never had a card, not that I just have never applied online, I will select New Patient and will enter my application there. Those instructions can be found in the other Captivate video named New Patient Instructions. For the purposes of this training, I have a card that expired in October and I'm going to renew that card online. On this screen, I am going to enter my patient information exactly as it appears on my card, to include my middle initial if it is there or any suffix such as junior, senior, the third. Do not use periods. My government identification number and my patient card number or a registration number. If you receive an error such as match not found, please review what you entered in each area and make sure you have entered the correct information. Common mistakes are leaving out your middle initial when it is present on your card, not including your suffix, such as junior, the third, etc., missing or including a space in your last name, or putting a period after junior. If after reviewing the other options you are still having difficulties, click on one of the troubleshooting tips blue links and a list of potential errors will come up, which will include our email and phone number if you still cannot identify the problem. Once I have made any corrections, if necessary, and everything matches, this screen comes up. I am going to review the information listed to make sure that everything that I entered is correct and that the registration number is accurate. Now that I am confident my information is correct, I'm going to submit my patient information. My patient information was successfully validated and I am now able to continue my patient information. These steps to connect to your patient information will only happen once. In the future, you will sign in and go directly to the Renew Patient area to renew. As you can see, there are tabs across the top with the landing page being on the Patient tab and the patient information being listed. If you would like to do a quick review of what is currently in your file, you can individually select each tab to review your caregiver, grower, etc. You will be able to update information that is not accurate when you are renewing. I'm going to renew my application, so I am selecting Renew Application to move to the next step. Please note that if you are not within 90 days of expiration, for example, you have a card that expires in 120 days from now, you will not have the option to renew at this time. This button will automatically become available once you are in the renewal window. Once you select Renew Application, a message appears to remind you that you must have all of your documents scanned and be able to pay your fees with a credit or debit card in order to use the online system. You must click OK to acknowledge that you understand this. Please note that there is potential for civil penalties providing false information on your application. When you are confident that you are prepared to renew online, please select OK to move forward. There is one final reminder of the requirements to renew online, and then I am selecting Patient Renew to continue. I know this is stated many times, but it is important to understand that you have to complete your application either all online or all by mail. You cannot do part online and mail the rest. The first area comes up is your patient information. We call them screens. Each screen is pre-populated with the information from your last card. If you need to make changes, each of these fields is editable. Should you need to change your name, that option is available by checking the box next to that option. Please note that without proper legal name change documentation, your name will not be changed. The name change document must be reviewed by a staff member for completeness before a name change is made within the system. Now that I have completed my review of this page, I will select Next at the bottom of the page to move to the next screen. Each time that I select Next on a page with an address, I will be presented with a standardized format option for the address I have entered. Unless there is an error, please select Yes in order to update the zip code to the additional 4-digit format. I will do the same review and verify for my caregiver, as I will use the same caregiver for my new card as well. In a different instance, if I decided to not have a caregiver or I wanted to completely change my caregiver, I would select Clear Form, and it will remove all entries and give me a blank form for my new situation. On my grower section, I will continue to be my own grower. Should I choose to change my grower status, I can either select your caregiver and it will automatically populate all my caregiver information as my grower as well, or I can select another person and it will give me a blank online form to designate my grower and their mailing address. I have now reviewed my information and I'm ready to move forward. I am now going to enter the grow site where my grower will be growing my plants. This may or may not be the same as the grower's mailing address, but it needs to be the actual location of the plants, and it cannot be a post office box. Has to be an actual address. On this same page, I'm going to answer yes or no to all of the questions, which will determine both the amount of plants that can be at the grow site and whether or not there will be a fee and monthly tracking involved. I am growing for myself at my residence, where there will not be any fees associated with my grow site. However, I will show a variety of answer combinations and the messages the system gives you with those answers. I want to highlight at this time that based on the location and the zoning of the property, which is determined by the city-county, one notification that may come up is that the grow site can have up to 48 plants. This does not mean that the individual grower can have 48 plants. The rules remain in place that each patient can have up to 6 mature plants, and each grower can have a maximum of 4 patients, which would equal 24 plants for one grower. In order for the grow site to reach the 48 plant maximum, you would have to have 2 growers at the site. My grow site is within city limits and is zoned residential, so the online system has already told me that there is a 12 plant maximum at the site and that proof of zoning is required. Next, I answer questions to determine whether there will be a grow site fee required by the grower. I am not my own grower. My grower will transfer excess to a dispensary. The grow site is not my address, and based on zoning, it will not have more than 12 plants. Based on my answers, the online system has notified me that there will be a grow site registration fee and that the grower will be required to submit monthly reports regarding their grow. Growers will be notified when cards are sent to pay online and create an account. The next section is regarding the information provided on your attending physician statement. An important notation here is that this statement cannot be any older than 90 days. After you enter the physician name and phone number, you are asked to provide the Oregon Medical Board license number. In this particular location, if you select the eye icon, you will be connected to another website, Oregon Medical Board Applicant Licensee Services. You will not lose your place on your application as it will open in a new window. On this site, you can search for your doctor by first and last name. You can enter just the last name and will be able to select from a list from there. The search results will provide your doctor's name, license number, and practice city and state. If you are unable to locate your doctor's license number, you can still submit your application. I will continue to fill out my information from my attending physician statement to include the physician address, debilitating condition, and then the attending physician's signature date, which again must be submitted within 90 days of application submission. In the yellow at the top of the page is a veteran's disclosure statement. Please note that this is not for all veterans. This is particular to veterans with 100% service-connected disabilities as described in 38 CFR 416. This pertains to veterans who have United States Department of Veterans Affairs total disability rating of 100% as a result of an injury or illness that was incurred or that was aggravated during active military service. You must have received a discharge or release under other than dishonorable conditions. If you select this box, you will be required to submit the appropriate supporting document, and after that you will not need to return to the doctor each year. I have now filled out all the application information and am now determining what fee I will owe. I will select the standard application fee of $200 as I do not qualify for any of the reduced fees. If you select anything other than the $200 fee, you should have the document scanned as proof. I am now at the portion of my application where I am required to upload the documents required. Based on my answers during the application process, the system has provided me with a list of each document that I am required to submit with a red asterisk. In order to submit this application, I have to provide all documents at the time of submission and pay the fee by credit or debit card. The complete application submission with payment initiates the 30-day receipt, which you will be able to download after your payment is processed. Once I have all of my documents ready, they can either be uploaded one by one or scanned as a single document and uploaded that way. I covered this earlier and will now show you the two ways to upload documents. The first way is one document that I scan and put all requirement documents into. The second way is one document at a time. Once all of my documents are uploaded, I will select Next to move to the screen where I can verify my documents were received. Once I have uploaded my documents, I return to the original screen and I can see that my upload is there and the document types are listed. It is important to remember that intentionally including documents that are not what they are stated to be, to have the system read your application as complete, can lead to suspension and/or revocation of your card for up to 6 months. At the very least, the temporary receipt was made available after payment was received will immediately be deactivated. This step is your electronic signature. By checking the boxes and signing your name, you are stating the information is accurate and complete. I will now prepare to sign my application. It is very important that I read and understand each of the statements before I check the box. The first box I need to check is electronic signature, which states, I understand that by checking, etc. The next box is certification, where I attest that the above, etc. With both boxes checked, I will now sign the box, which entails typing my full legal name and then submitting Next. Now that I have entered all of my information and signed my application, I am going to do one last review to confirm all of the information that I entered. If I find an error, I will simply select the section from the top to go back and correct the mistake. Once I have made that correction, I will need to select Next again at the bottom of each page to return to the confirmation page, even if there are no further corrections to be made. The reason that you cannot simply return back to the confirmation page is that each change that is made could modify your application and change the required information. Please note the yellow flashing banner at the bottom of the Confirm page. This banner notifies you that this final Continue button closes the application to online changes. Only select this Continue when you are confident that your application is complete and correct, as from this point forward, all changes and corrections will need to be submitted by mail. This is the final opportunity to ensure that all your information is correct and to go back to another screen to make a change. On this screen, once you hit Continue, you can no longer make changes to the application. My application has been submitted, and my final step to forward it to the processing step is to submit my payment. Without completing this step, the application will not be processed, and the 30-day letter will not be available online. I will select Pay Online now to enter my credit card number and complete my submission. Once I complete the payment process, I will get an email stating that my application has been submitted and that my payment is pending. I am now to the payment section. The fee and the amount are listed at the top, and the method of payment is listed in payment type. Credit or debit card is the only method of payment accepted, so that will automatically populate. I will enter my billing address and then select Next to enter my card information. I will now enter my credit card information for payment. On this page, I'll review my payment information to ensure that I have entered everything correctly and then type the verification image. Once this page is complete, I will select Submit Payment one time. Please do not select Submit Payment more than once, as it could charge your account a second time. I have included an example of the payment receipt confirmation that will be received in your email notifying you that your payment was received and is being processed. I am now at the screen that states that my application has been submitted to the OMMP. Once your payment has been processed, which means it has posted to your credit or debit card, you will get an email that tells you can log into your account and print your 30-day receipt. This replaces the 30-day letter and allows you entrance to a dispensary for 30 days. Please note that it can take up to 2 business days for the payment to process, and once it does, you will be able to log in and print your temporary receipt.